with Benjamin Šeško. Now, Jan, let me come to you because yesterday on the show, Ale Moreno described him as a player who was a part of all the good we saw at Leipzig last season, but also a part of some of the issues that we saw. Now, for those of us who haven't seen him play much, how good is he?
Well, he's 22. He has got a lot of experience. He played for his country, scored for his country, I guess 16 goals for his country. So very experienced in terms of his age. He's a tall guy, good technique, and he will take the next step. But before I came on this show, I was thinking, people won't believe me because I'm a strikers union. I will say that this striker is the next big thing. So I called a friend of mine, Alex Rosén, who was the head manager or manager of everything in Hoffenheim for 11 years. And I talked to him about Sesko, and his words, I said, I'm going to go on ESPN, I'm going to describe this player. And he said, this is the next big thing. He has to take the next step. But he will be so great, Jan, just believe me. And I think if Manchester United, as it seems now, he wants to go to Manchester United. And if this should happen for Manchester United, they would have themselves a good, great striker. And we'll just see how long time they will take. And I guess that's the analysis by Manchester United. Should we go for the young lad from Germany or from Slovenia? Or should we go for a more experienced like Oliver Watkins that is already adjusted to the Premier League?
All right, well, with that glowing review, we could probably forget about what Ale Moreno had to say on his analysis. Gab, what about you? Are you buying all that hype that Jan just gave us about Benjamin Šeško?
I mean, we've been hearing about Sesko since he was, 17, 18 years old. I think people were salivating over the fact that this is a guy who, he's tall and lanky, but he's also extremely athletic. He moves very, very well, and he has good technique. He's got a good eye for goal. Now, the question is, how does it all come together? When does it all come together? Last year, I was so excited by the SOS, Sesko, Openda, Xavi Simons, and he never quite really, I think, got to where they wanted it to be. He didn't make that quickly forward, and you look at 22, well, he's old enough to be Lamine Yamal's uncle or whatever. So I think the question is, was Leipzig the right place for him to continue developing further? And from his perspective, is Manchester United the right place? Because, of course, the last bright young striker, center forward, who moved to United for a lot of money was Rasmus Højlund. Certainly, I think if you're United and you're going to make that kind of investment in him, you have to make sure that everything's right. You have to make sure that people are going to be patient. You have to make sure that he fits what Amorim wants to do. And you have to make sure that the pieces around him are in place. In other words, I think you have to really do your homework, but there's no question. I mean, he's a massive prospect, and if you get this right, you've got yourself, and he does take that next step, potentially you're talking one of the top 5 center forwards in the world, if he makes that step forward.
Well, Gab, we're going to talk about Rasmus Højlund a bit later and how this could affect him. But we've also spoken on the show about how Manchester United are trying to have a cautious transfer window because of the bad deals that they've done in the past. When we're looking at the price tag attached to Šeško, it's looking like a lot of moolah. Can Manchester United afford this?
Yeah, you mean afford it and stay within the rules of financial stability? I think that's a legit question. I mean, all we heard from Jim Ratcliffe was pleading poverty and how the club are going to go to the wall if he hadn't made cuts and laid off the tea ladies and the secretaries and whatnot. They're saving themselves some considerable salaries in terms of some of the people who left, and obviously Rashford as well. But yeah, I think it's a question mark. And if you push the boat out to that level, my question also would be, are you not going to invest in the midfield at that point? Is it really going to be Kobe Mainoo, Casemiro, Ugarte, and the gang? I mean, is this really what Amorim wants, what Amorim needs at this stage? I'm not so sure. And the other thing is, if you don't get the sequence right here, having already invested in Brian Mbeumo and Matías Cunha, you're in a situation potentially where you get Sesko, and then you have to go and offload, Sancho we already know about, but then Garnacho, but also probably Højlund at that stage. And then all of a sudden, people are going to be in a stronger position. They're going to have the leverage to negotiate you down.
Benjamin Sesko's highly anticipated move from RB Leipzig to Manchester United is now almost a done deal, with insiders confirming that all paperwork has officially been signed and sealed. pending only the final public announcement from the club. In what has been a carefully negotiated and closely followed transfer, Manchester United have now put the finishing touches on the deal that will bring the Slovenian striker to the theatre of dreams. Every contract clause, bonus structure, and performance incentive has reportedly been finalized, with only the formal presentation of the player now remaining.